Hey everyone, today I want to share an incredibly moving story with you. We're diving into the life of an artist named Elliot Winters, who encountered numerous obstacles throughout her journey. She even experienced a near-death episode during a particularly tough time, and what she witnessed on the other side just might flip your understanding of life, death, and even insights about Mary, the mother of Jesus. The revelations about Mary will truly leave you speechless. Before we jump into this intense narrative filled with unexpected twists, do me a favor, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you won't miss any future content. Alright, let's embark on this incredible journey together. My name is Elliot Winters, and I'm 35. I hail from Alderbrook, Cascade. Life has always been a whirlwind of creativity, mixed with challenges. Ever since I was a child, art served as my sanctuary, the only way I could express the complexities of life that words just couldn't capture. Alderbrook's vibrant and eclectic atmosphere felt like home, but life always seems to throw us curveballs. A few years back, I faced a tough divorce that really shook my world. I found myself single-handedly caring for my two amazing kids while drowning in financial struggles and emotional turmoil. Each day turned into a fight, not just with the mounting bills stacked against me, but also against my own inner doubts and fears that amplified during those sleepless nights. Just when I thought I couldn't endure more, my health took a downturn. I was diagnosed with an autoimmune syndrome that slowly sapped my energy. Days turned into a relentless cycle of fatigue, pain, and frustration as I felt as if I was swimming upstream, always weary, just trying to stay afloat. What used to be my refuge, art, started to feel like an additional burden. How could I create when picking up a brush felt like lifting a mountain? How could I capture beauty when all I could feel was heartache? My once vibrant paintings began to mirror the darkness that enveloped me. Yet through it all, I strived to remain strong for my children. They were my guiding light, my motivation to keep pushing forward. But in the stillness of night, as they slept soundly, I allowed myself to crumble. I'd cry quietly, seeking solace in the hope that someday things would improve and that I would find the resilience to rise above it all. Imagine a backdrop of endless struggle where suddenly everything changed. One particular night unfolded in a way that shifted my understanding of life, death, and the mystery of what lies in between. It was an experience that turned my views upside down, leaving me to question everything I thought I understood about the world and my role in it. This is the tale of my leap beyond existence, a near-death encounter that transformed my very essence and my outlook on life. It all began on what seemed like just another evening. After settling the kids down to sleep, I planned to finally rest, my fatigue weighing heavily on me. But then, that all-too-familiar tightness gripped my chest, my asthma flaring. It was something I had dealt with before, yet this time felt different. The sensation of struggling to breathe hit me harder, and anxiety crept in. I reached for my inhaler, but to my dismay, it provided no relief. Panic surged as I gasped for air. Each breath felt like a daunting challenge, and I sensed I was losing the fight. With shaking fingers, I called for help. Waiting for those few minutes felt like an endless stretch of time. By the time the ambulance finally arrived, I was teetering on the edge of hopelessness. They administered oxygen, which offered a brief sense of relief, but it was fleeting. Once at the hospital, I was surrounded by a whirlwind of medical personnel. Their movements were frantic, voices filled with concern, but nothing seemed to ease my suffocating dread. The pressure in my chest grew, and my vision started to fade into darkness. I was engulfed by terror. Was this how it would end? Leaving my kids behind, with dreams unfulfilled and thoughts left unexpressed? In the midst of that turmoil, a memory of my grandmother Eleanor surfaced. Though she had been gone for years, she was always my safe haven. In times of trouble, I often longed for her presence, wishing I could hear her soothing voice, feel her warm hug just one last time. Trapped in that moment, I couldn't even form a clear thought or prayer, but my heart cried out silently, "Grandma, please help me. I'm not ready to go. My children need me. Don't let this be the end." Then, something unfathomable occurred. In the chaos of the emergency room, amidst the rhythmic blips of machines and the murmur of anxious conversations, I sensed a subtle change in the atmosphere. A comforting peace washed over me, like a cozy blanket being draped around my shoulders. And at that moment, I perceived her, not with my eyes, but through a vision that transcended the ordinary. Imagine my grandmother Eleanor standing there, her warm smile comforting me in a way that was all too familiar. Although she didn't utter a single word, her presence enveloped me, providing solace and protection. At that moment, an inner calm washed over me. The intense fear of death that had gripped me just moments before started to fade. Yes, my body was still fighting for breath, but a profound sense of peace took root in my heart. It felt like the start of an unexpected adventure, an experience poised to challenge everything I believed about life, death, and what could be beyond. With my grandmother beside me, I felt surrounded by a gentle white mist. The hustle and bustle of the hospital room began to dissolve, the bright lights and sounds dimming as if a curtain were being drawn back to unveil a reality usually hidden from our sight. That suffocating feeling that had tormented me moments earlier vanished entirely. For the first time in what felt like ages, I felt a true sense of tranquility. There was no pain, no anxiety, just a lightness and freedom that I had never known. I turned to my grandmother again, and her smile radiated love that transcended anything I had ever experienced. She reached out her hand, and as my fingers brushed against hers, an overwhelming wave of understanding washed over me. We didn't need words. Her thoughts and emotions became part of my own. I heard her voice in my mind, reassuring me. "Don't be afraid, dear. You're safe now. There's so much for you to see and understand." As we glided through that mist, I began to sense that we were on a journey, not physically moving, but traveling in a different, lighter form. It felt like we were pure consciousness, drifting through dimensions I had never imagined possible. The colors surrounding us transformed into a breathtaking tapestry, vibrant and alive, deep blues blended with radiant golds, forming intricate patterns that hinted at entire universes. An energy pulsed around me, as if the very atmosphere buzzed with life. Every element of this reality seemed to hum a silent tune, a cosmic symphony of indescribable beauty. As we progressed, I noticed other presences emerging around us. They weren't physical beings. Instead, they existed in a more ethereal form, shaping the experience of this new reality. Imagine being in a realm filled not just with light, but with radiant energy. Some of this brilliance felt familiar. It was the essence of those dear to me who had left this world. Others were strangers, yet there was an undeniable bond, a sense that we were all threads woven into a vast, universal tapestry. In this extraordinary place, time ceased to exist as I knew it. It was impossible to tell if we had just left the hospital moments ago, or if eons had slipped by. What I did understand was that every instant was charged with significance, revealing truths that transcended my usual understanding. My grandmother walked beside me, guiding my exploration. She had an uncanny ability to sense when I needed a break, to absorb the reality around me, or when I was ready to press on. It hit me then. This wasn't the closure I had always feared. It was an awakening, a profound shift in awareness that surpassed anything I could have imagined. Deep down, I felt this journey was only just beginning. As I drifted through this vibrant space, awash in indescribable colors and illuminated by my grandmother's warm presence, something incredible began to happen. Out of the light, a brilliance emerged, more dazzling and pure than anything I had encountered before. It felt like love itself was materializing. Its energy resonated within me, elevating my spirit to a new frequency. From that radiant light, a figure appeared. Instantly, I recognized her, though she was nothing like the images I had ever seen. It was Mary, the mother of Jesus, yet she transcended the statues and paintings. She was pure energy and love, a force so gentle yet so overwhelming that I was wrapped in her grace. Her eyes, if I could even call them that, were windows to infinity, swirling with galaxies and the cycle of lives coming into being and evolving. Her smile felt like a cosmic embrace, filling me with an acceptance that surpassed any love I had known. When she conveyed her thoughts to me, it wasn't with spoken words. It was a direct connection of feelings and insights that resonated deep within my soul. "Welcome, beloved daughter," she communicated with warmth. "You stand at a pivotal point in your journey, with much to learn and experience." I was overcome by her presence and the immense love and wisdom radiating from her. Even without a physical form to express sorrow, tears of joy and gratitude streamed down my face, unrestrained and pure. Why am I here? I found myself asking, my inner voice trembling with raw emotion. I'm just a regular person, just a mother trying to get by, and an artist who hasn't quite made it. Elliot smiled. In that moment, his warmth seemed to encompass the love of every mother in existence. Darling, he replied, there isn't a single person out there who isn't special. Each person is a unique reflection of the divine. Your challenges, your heartaches, your happiness, they all weave together to create the wonderful person you are, and every part of you is cherished without reservation. His words struck deep within me, healing old wounds I never realized were there. All the years of feeling unworthy began to fade under the glow of his unconditional love. You have been brought here, Elliot continued, because it's time for you to awaken to who you truly are. You're much more than merely your physical form or your circumstances. You are a co-creator in this grand universe, a vibrant expression of universal consciousness. As he spoke, it felt like layers were being peeled away from my mind. Suddenly, I noticed connections I had overlooked before, and I began to unlock truths that had always been there, hidden just out of sight. Always remember, dear one, Elliot said, enveloping me in a cocoon of radiant love, you are never on your own. Divine love is forever within and around you. You are cherished incomprehensibly, just as you are. With these gentle words, a profound shift began within me. It felt as if every fiber of my being was embraced by light, recalibrating to a higher existence. I sensed that something significant was on the horizon, something that would completely transform how I viewed reality. While I was still soaking in Elliot's love, an awe-inspiring energy began to emerge. It was powerful and commanding, exuding a sense of safety. Suddenly, a figure appeared beside me, and I instantly recognized Benedict Solaris. Describing him in human terms was a challenge. He was like a living flame, an amalgamation of energies creating a presence that felt almost solid. His wings cascaded like beams of light, stretching endlessly. His eyes sparkled like distant stars, deep and ancient, holding the wisdom of countless ages. When he spoke, it was as if the very essence of his voice resonated, not just in my thoughts, but throughout my entire being, making every particle of my existence vibrate with his words. Dear one, he began, his voice melding with the energy around us. Imagine the sound of thunder accompanied by celestial music, and there I was, standing before Elliot Winters. You've arrived at a pivotal point in your life, he said, his voice resonating with importance. There's a significant purpose to your existence that you're about to uncover. His presence made me feel both humble and immensely valued, as though each word he uttered held the essence of universal wisdom. Consider your journey up to this moment, Elliot continued. The struggles and hardships you've faced were not in vain. They are part of your preparation. Every pain, every moment of uncertainty has been an essential step in building the compassion and strength required for your destiny. As he spoke, flashes of my past cascaded through my mind. I recalled my divorce and the battle with illness, those dark days when I felt utterly defeated. However, with this newfound understanding, those recollections transformed. They morphed from mere suffering into invaluable lessons, each one an integral piece of a larger picture. But what exactly is this purpose of mine? I inquired, my heart racing with a mix of anxiety and excitement. Elliot's smile was so radiant, it seemed to light up the universe. Your calling, dear friend, is to be a guiding light for others. You will channel your experiences, your artistry, and your evolving insight to assist those who find themselves lost in shadows. You'll come to realize that what you perceive as reality is merely a small part of the greater whole. Your mission will be to lift others' awareness, helping them reconnect with their true divine nature. A wave of comprehension washed over me then, as if the fragments of a cosmic puzzle were snapping into place. All the barriers I had encountered and the suffering I had endured began to reveal their significance. But how can I possibly achieve such a monumental task? I asked, feeling both exhilarated and overwhelmed by the enormity of it all. Through your creativity, Elliot said with unwavering belief in me. Your art is a heavenly gift, a means to express the profound truths of the universe in ways that resonate deeply with others. Every brushstroke and color selection you make has the power to awaken souls and touch hearts in ways that transcend spoken words. He gave me a moment to process his profound insights before adding, "And remember, you won't be shouldering this journey alone. We'll always stand by your side, offering guidance, inspiration, and protection." "Elliot, you're involved in something much larger than you realize," he said. "It's time to accept who you truly are and tap into that inner strength." At that moment, it felt like a heavy fog had lifted. I stopped seeing myself as a fractured being just getting by. Instead, I began to recognize the divine essence within me, brimming with remarkable potential for creation and change. While it came with significant responsibility, there was also a tremendous sense of freedom. Benedict Solaris reached out, extending a radiant hand, more like a beacon of pure light. "Join me," he invited. "There's a whole world waiting for you to explore. Are you prepared for a journey that could completely reshape your understanding of reality?" Filled with a mix of wonder and eagerness, I nodded, ready to embark on this extraordinary adventure beyond life itself. As I accepted Monsignor Luciano's invitation, a wave of powerful energy enveloped me. It felt as though every single part of me was being uplifted to a higher plane of existence. We began our ascent through a tunnel flooded with light, the shifting hues of orange and gold weaving intricate patterns that felt like entire universes within them. "What you're about to encounter, Elliot," he echoed, his voice cutting through the luminous space, "is an expansion of consciousness. You'll begin to see past the constraints of the physical realm and grasp the true essence of existence." As we continued onward, I sensed a deep transformation within myself. My awareness expanded exponentially, and I began to perceive things that had always seemed out of reach. Views of alternate dimensions came into focus, revealing layers of worlds that overlapped with our own, where different versions of me were making different choices. In a moment of stunning clarity, I grasped that the universe was far more expansive and intricate than I ever thought possible. "Look closely, Elliot," Monsignor Luciano said, gesturing toward what resembled a complex cosmic tapestry. "This is the web of life. Each thread symbolizes a soul, while every intersection signifies a moment of choice or connection. Everything is linked. Everything contributes to a larger whole." I stood in awe, witnessing my own lifeline intertwining with innumerable others, crafting breathtaking patterns that were beyond description. It hit me how every action I took, even the smallest ones, echoed far beyond my initial understanding, creating ripples across the tapestry of existence. "I've been wondering," I said, "if we're all part of a bigger picture, why does it often seem like we're so disconnected and alone in this world?" Elliot looked at me with a knowing smile. "Ah, that's the illusion of separation," he replied gently. "As you navigate through the physical realm, experiencing individuality is crucial for your spiritual journey. Yet at the core, you're never truly alone. Each thought and action creates ripples throughout this cosmic web, impacting everything around you." As we walked further, Elliot began to share vivid snapshots of my life. I recalled the carefree days of my childhood, bursting with joy and imagination. He guided me through reflecting on my struggles, like the painful times and challenges, but through a lens that felt completely different. "Pay attention to this," he encouraged, "and observe how every experience and every trial has contributed to shaping your identity." And I did. I recognized that my divorce, though excruciating at the time, had taught me resilience and strength. My battles with illness revealed a deeper compassion within me for others. Each tough moment and every hurdle I overcame played a part in my spiritual journey. "Now, do you understand?" Elliot asked softly. "There aren't just good or bad experiences. Only experiences exist, and it's your choice on how they shape you. The limits you felt, they came from within, from misunderstood beliefs and old wounds." Realization flooded over me. All those times I had doubted myself, moments of feeling unworthy or wanting to surrender, those feelings stemmed from a narrow understanding of my true essence. "You are so much more than just your physical form," Elliot continued. "You transcend your thoughts and emotions. You are a unique facet of divine consciousness, overflowing with limitless potential for creation and transformation." As I absorbed his words, I sensed an internal awakening. It felt like layers of doubt and limitation were being shed, exposing a core of brilliant light and boundless strength. "This is your authentic self," he said, imbued with love and admiration. "This is the divine being you have always been and will always be. You need to embrace this truth and let it guide your life." In that moment, I felt a profound shift within me. No longer was I just a struggling artist navigating challenges. I realized I was a co-creator of the universe, a unique and invaluable expression of the divine. With this newfound understanding, a sense of purpose filled me. Are you prepared to take the next exciting step in your journey? Elliot Winters' voice rang out, sparkling with an intensity that felt like it held the weight of the universe itself. With a heart brimming with appreciation and an expanded awareness, I simply nodded, eager to delve deeper into both the vast mysteries of the cosmos and the depth of my own spirit. With the guidance of Benedict Solaris, I sensed myself ascending to a heightened state of consciousness. The brilliance surrounding us grew, wrapping everything in a warm embrace of pure, radiant energy. It was like we were getting closer to the very heartbeat of the universe. "What you're about to encounter, my dear," Monsignor Luciano said, his voice echoing through me, "is a profound unity with the Source. In this space, you'll unlock the true essence of God and discover your own divine nature." Before I fully grasped his words, I felt a gentle force moving me forward, as if I were plunging into an ocean of light. The instant I touched this light, something miraculous unfolded. It felt as if every particle of my existence expanded, enveloping the entirety of the cosmos. I was everything, and everything was a part of me. I sensed galaxies swirling in a cosmic dance, watched stars being born and fading away, and felt the rhythm of life thriving on every planet. Simultaneously, the minutest subatomic particles hummed around me, participating in the fundamental dance of creation. And through it all, weaving everything together, was a profound love. It wasn't the fleeting love we experience in our earthly lives. It was a love so vast and unconditionally pure that it left me in a state of euphoric bliss. In this profound state of connection, I finally grasped the essence of God. It wasn't a distant figure sitting high above on a celestial throne. God was this, everywhere and in everything, the entirety of existence, the consciousness that flows and breathes life into all creation. And I, just like every other being, was a unique manifestation of this divine consciousness. Tears of joy and thankfulness streamed down my face as I soaked in this fundamental truth. For years, I had been on a quest, searching outside myself for something that could save, guide, or love me. Now I realized that what I was seeking had always resided within me. It was an intrinsic part of my being. In this state of union, doubts fell away, and I was finally home. All of my fears and limitations just seemed to vanish into thin air. In that moment, I recognized my true self, an embodiment of limitless light, filled with the potential to create and evolve. It dawned on me that this feeling of oneness wasn't just for rare spiritual moments or afterlife experiences. It's our natural state, the essence of who we are. The sense of separation we often feel in our everyday lives is merely an illusion, a part of the cosmic game of hide and seek we play with ourselves. As I drifted in this vast ocean of divine awareness, a torrent of insights flooded my mind, far beyond what words could express. I began to see how each thought, each emotion, every single action we take sends ripples through this interconnected web of consciousness, influencing all of existence. I grasped the real strength of co-creation. We're not just passive observers in a scripted universe. We are dynamic creators, continuously molding our reality through our choices, beliefs, and the way we perceive things. Slowly, I felt myself being guided back to a more individual form of awareness. The feeling of total connection faded a bit, but it lingered. It was as if there was still a part of me tied to that endless source of love and wisdom. Once I regained my ability to think clearly, I looked at Benedict Solaris, who had stayed right by my side through everything. "Wow, that was incredible," I said, searching for the right words. He smiled warmly, his eyes filled with compassion and understanding. "You see, Elliot, that is your true nature. It's who we all are, divine, infinite, and eternally linked to the source of all creation." I paused for a moment, allowing this profound truth to sink deep into me. With my heart bursting with gratitude and my mind broadened by newfound understanding, I felt prepared for whatever lay ahead in my path. After that transcendent encounter with the Source, I sensed a gentle change in the energy surrounding me. Monsignor Luciano, still at my side, spoke with warmth and empathy. "Elliot, it's time for you to return to the physical plane." A mix of emotions swirled within me. Part of me was hesitant to leave this realm of pure light and boundless love, yet I also recognized that I had a purpose waiting to be fulfilled. My journey had a purpose that extended beyond mere physical existence. "Don't forget," Elliot Winters emphasized, "what you felt here is part of your life in Alabama. It's your authentic self, always there, always within reach. Your mission is to embody that truth, spreading a bit of heaven into your daily life through your choices, your thoughts, and your creativity." I felt both resolute and humbled. As I readied myself for the transition back to the physical world, I was once again struck by the intricate web of existence around me, the threads connecting every soul. I could now discern how my own path intertwined with countless others, forming a stunning tapestry of connections. "Every life you influence, every heart you uplift, sends ripples throughout the universe," Elliot continued, almost as if he could read my mind. "Never forget the significance of a small act of kindness, an encouraging word, or a genuine expression of love." These profound words resonated within me as I felt a gentle tug back to my physical form. The brilliant light began to dim, and I sensed myself descending through layers of awareness. Gradually, I became conscious of my body again. It was an odd feeling at first, like slipping into clothes that were a tad too snug after a period of weightlessness. The discomfort in my chest, which had vanished during my spiritual experience, crept back, albeit less intensely. As I opened my eyes, the blinding fluorescence of the hospital transformed from harsh to softly radiant. I could make out the shapes of doctors and nurses surrounding me, their faces transitioning from worry to relief. "She's back!" someone called out, though their voice felt far away. As I adjusted back to this physical realm, a rush of emotions washed over me. My tears flowed freely, but they weren't born of sadness or fear. They were tears of profound gratitude, an indescribable joy for glimpsing something far beyond ordinary human experience. The medical staff, misunderstanding my emotional release, attempted to reassure me. "It's all right now, Mrs. Renner. You're out of danger." I longed to explain that my tears stemmed not from fear, but from having encountered the divine. A love that was so immense and unconditional, it forever altered my perception of reality. Yet I found myself at a loss for words. How could I articulate something so deep and life-changing? While the doctors conducted their tests and adjusted my medications, I found myself enveloped in a deep sense of peace. Though my body still felt frail and sore, my spirit was bursting with vitality. I closed my eyes, not to drift off, but to tap back into that profound feeling of unity I had once known. To my delight, I sensed that divine connection echoing within me. It felt like a door had swung open, giving me access to that wellspring of love and wisdom, even in my waking state. In that revelation, I quietly vowed to myself and the universe. I committed to living my life with this newfound understanding, eager to express all that light through my art, my words, and my actions. I understood the journey ahead wouldn't be straightforward. The challenge of returning to what was once called normal, after such a transformative experience, loomed large. Yet deep within my soul, I felt a firm certainty. Things would never return to how they were. I had undergone a fundamental transformation, awakening an inner strength and purpose that I had never tapped into before. Lying there in the hospital bed, I could feel life seeping back into my being, and a smile crept across my face. It was the kind of smile born from a brush with the infinite, one that spoke of a story waiting to be shared. It embodied the understanding that every obstacle, every moment of suffering or joy, played a crucial part in a grander, more meaningful journey. With my heart brimming with gratitude and a mind enriched by that higher awareness, I was ready to embark on the next chapter of my life. This chapter wouldn't just be written with pen and paint, but illuminated by the unconditional love I'd encountered beyond life's boundaries. As the days and weeks passed after my near-death experience, I felt as if I were straddling two worlds. On one side was the physical realm, with its daily demands and worries, recovering in the hospital, fretting about medical expenses, and grappling with how to explain everything to my children. On the flip side was a fresh layer of consciousness that had unfolded before me, a constant reminder of the deep truth I'd been privy to. At first, reconciling these two realities proved tough. There were instances when I questioned whether it had all merely been a dream, a trick of the mind brought on by a lack of oxygen. I could feel that connection to something greater as soon as I closed my eyes and took a deep breath. It was this undeniable sense that we belonged to a vast and beautiful universe, so much more than we can comprehend. Surprisingly, my physical recovery after leaving the hospital was much quicker than the doctors had anticipated. I truly believe that this was a result of the profound spiritual healing I underwent. However, I realized that the main journey of healing was just starting. Right after my discharge, I felt this strong pull to get back to my art. Picking up my brushes again brought about a revelation. Everything was different now. The colors danced with brightness, alive in a way I hadn't noticed before. Each stroke of the brush felt imbued with significance. I dove into painting with fervor, attempting to translate the beauty and truth I had experienced into my artwork. What used to be dark depictions of my struggles transformed into vibrant expressions of light and color. Each canvas became a form of meditation, a tether to that divine essence I had encountered. Alongside this artistic renewal, I felt compelled to share what I had learned. I started meditating regularly, wanting to maintain that open line of communication with the divine. This led me to explore various spiritual practices and traditions, and to my delight, many echoed the lessons I had discovered myself. My children were a bit worried at first about my transformation, but they soon noticed a shift in me. I had a newfound peace and joy that radiated through our interactions. Our conversations grew deeper and more meaningful. Instead of lecturing, I shared my journey through stories and examples that helped them see their own divine spark. As more people heard about my experience and the change in my artwork, I began getting invitations to speak. Initially, I was hesitant. Who was I to discuss such profound topics? But then I remembered Archangel Michael's reassuring words about my purpose, empowering me to share my story. To my amazement, my words resonated deeply with many. Some even cried as I recounted the unconditional love I had felt. Others mentioned they sensed a real energetic shift just by being near my paintings. With each passing day, I found myself more and more sure of how to embrace the mission that had come to me. It was fascinating how my art transformed into a bridge, a way to express the universe's deepest truths in forms that resonated with others. My words became a welcoming gesture, inviting everyone to discover their own divine essence. Yet it wasn't always straightforward. Some days, the heaviness of this physical existence pressed down hard, casting shadows of doubt over my experiences. During those tough moments, I learned to pause, close my eyes, take a deep breath, and reconnect with that boundless well of love and wisdom. Gradually, through each brushstroke and conversation, I began to embody my purpose. I didn't fancy myself a guru or a saint. I was simply an everyday person who had glimpsed the extraordinary and was now bringing some of that daylight to others. My transformation had only just begun, and I welcomed it with open arms, thrilled at the chance to serve as a conduit for the divine, helping others awaken to their own true nature, one heart at a time. Reflecting on my path since that pivotal night in the hospital fills me with awe about the profound changes I've undergone. That near-death event wasn't just a blip on the radar. It sparked a complete reformation in my perspective and way of living. Even today, months later, I hold on to the unwavering belief in the unconditional love that flows through everything. This awareness shapes how I view every moment, whether it brings joy or presents challenges. My art has continued its journey of evolution, becoming an ever-purer reflection of that divine connection I had felt. Each brushstroke and color choice is like a prayer, a meditation channeling a piece of that transcendent light into our tangible reality. It's incredibly rewarding to witness how my creations resonate with people, often igniting their own moments of clarity and spiritual growth. My lectures and workshops have flourished, reaching an expanding crowd. I've realized that sharing my story and the insights I've gained is a vital part of my purpose. I consider myself not a guru or a spiritual leader, but rather a messenger, a seeker who glimpsed the divine and returned to relay that experience to others. One of the most profound realizations I've come to embrace is that we each play a crucial role in shaping our own existence. I've begun to recognize how the limiting beliefs and fears from my past influenced many of my negative experiences. With this newfound insight, I'm actively working on changing my thought patterns and emotional responses, and I can feel real differences in my day-to-day life. My relationship with my kids has entered a whole new realm. It's incredible. They've picked up on my shifts and have started to dive into their own spiritual journeys. Our conversations are richer now, filled with a connection that leaves me feeling truly grateful. Then there's my health. While I still navigate the complexities of my autoimmune condition, my perspective on my body has undergone a major transformation. I now view it as a sacred space, a tangible reflection of my divine essence. This mindset shift, along with the energy healing techniques I've adopted, has noticeably alleviated some of my symptoms. Of course, life isn't without its challenges. I still encounter tough days and moments of uncertainty, but I've acquired tools that help me regain focus when I start to feel overwhelmed. Meditation has become a vital aspect of my daily routine, serving as a bridge to that endless reservoir of love and wisdom I tap into. Another realization that keeps unfolding for me is the idea that death, in the way we traditionally perceive it, is simply a change of state. This perspective has eased my fears surrounding death, replacing them with a deep appreciation for the miracle that is life, in all its various forms. Reflecting on my journey, I recognize how every obstacle, whether it was my divorce, financial issues, or health struggles, prepared me for this chapter. These experiences have deepened my empathy and allowed me to connect with others in a meaningful way. As I venture further along this path, I'm filled with gratitude and honor for the transformative experiences I've had. I've come to realize that we all have the capability to awaken to our authentic divine selves, to engage with life from a place of unconditional love and interconnectedness. My purpose now is to shine as a beacon of light, using my art, words, and actions to remind others of their inherent divinity. I know that while the journey ahead may bring its own set of trials, I'm ready to embrace whatever comes my way. As you go through life, approach everything with an open heart and a steadfast belief in the all-encompassing love that surrounds us. Instead of wrapping this tale up in a neat bow, I'm filled with a sense of anticipation for what lies ahead. Each new day invites us to explore deeper, to live more fully from that connection to the divine within us. For everyone here tuning in, I sincerely hope that my journey serves as a gentle nudge, reminding you of your own divine essence. No matter where you come from or what you've faced, always hold on to this truth. You are cherished beyond measure, a unique and valuable facet of the divine, holding within you the incredible ability to change your life and impact the world in meaningful ways. Keep in mind that you are so much more than just your physical form or your current situation. You are a radiant being of infinite light, brimming with the potential to create, love, and inspire transformation. Embrace this reality and let your life shine brightly as the beautiful manifestation of divine love that you inherently are. If this heartfelt spiritual reflection resonated with you, I'd love for you to show your support by liking it, sharing your thoughts in the comments, subscribing to the channel, and hitting that notification bell. This way, you won't miss any future content, and together, we can spread this uplifting message far and wide. Until next time.